What's up, guys? So in today's video we're going to be talking about NIO stock, a really popular Chinese electric vehicle company that is basically the Tesla of China. Before I go into NIO stock and the recent Q3 2019 earnings report, I just want to remind you guys to hit that subscribe button because you'll get notified when I release future videos. I'm going to be covering all of the hot stocks in the stock market in 2020 and lots of different plays that you guys can get into, whether you're trading options or whether you're looking for stocks to buy and hold for the long term. You're going to find a lot of information in these videos, so be sure to smash that subscribe button and turn on the bell notifications so you get notified whenever I post a new video. So guys, moving into NIO. NIO is one of those companies that I've been looking into where I think there's been a lot of negativity surrounding the company recently due to the high cash burn, but I think that 2020 is going to be the first year. We're entering a new decade, and this is going to be the first year where people are kind of embracing electric vehicles. So we're going through a transition phase here where people are realizing the benefits of electric vehicles and they're kind of softening up to them. So let's dig right into the numbers. NIO just recently released their latest quarterly release. There's some very interesting numbers here. So one of the reasons why the stock was up pretty big, it was up pretty big yesterday, so I'll just show you guys the huge uptrend that we had. So if we go back to a 1 week chart, we can see that the stock was kind of trading around $2.42, and then after that quarterly report where people were really excited about the delivery numbers and just the overall increase in volume, the stock skyrocketed up to $4.72. So now, as of recording this video, it's been kind of hovering around the about $4, a little bit more than $4 range. And as of recording this video, the stock has had quite a nice run in today's trading session. So far, it's already up 16% at around $4.16. So let's talk a little bit more about those numbers. One of the interesting things was the delivery of vehicles was up substantially. So they delivered 4,799 in Q3 2019, including over 4,000 ES6s and 300 ES8s. So those numbers are way up. So that's one of the reasons why the stock increased quite a bit. People are excited about those numbers. So they saw a 22% increase in vehicle sales from second quarter and a 21% gain over the same quarter last year. Revenue was up. Now the company still is losing money, but that's generally common amongst these newer companies that are kind of in the transitional phase. A good thing about NIO is that China is the largest electric vehicle market in the world, and Chinese people in general in Chinese society, they're very patriotic. They like to support Chinese companies over American companies. As you guys probably know, most things in China, for instance, in the Western world there's Amazon, and in China there's Alibaba. In whereas the Western world has Facebook, China they have their own social networking sites. So China is very, for another example is we have Starbucks in the Western world, and in China there's Luckin Coffee. So these companies kind of, I would say, Chinese version of Western companies are always going to probably do well in the long term because of the Chinese patriotic nature. So it's a good idea to take advantage of looking at their companies, because I believe that in the last decade, I think people had negative kind of mindset towards Chinese companies in general. But in the next 10 years, I think the Chinese companies are going to develop and grow a lot, because the Chinese society is becoming way more westernized. More people are moving into the cities, and when people move into the cities, that means increased car ownership and just spending more money in general. Because we all know it's much cheaper to live in the countryside than it is the city. So let's just take a look at some of the things that the CEO said. So as we see here, NIO delivered a total of 4,798 vehicles in third quarter, 35% increase. The electric vehicle sector experienced substantial softness in the second half of 2019 after the reduction of electric vehicle subsidies in China. Despite the challenges, NIO sales improved solidly since September. William Lee, so this guy, he's actually a billionaire. He's a young guy as well, very smart guy. I've been doing some reading up on him. So also I think it's a good idea to kind of really try to target companies where the CEOs are just smart in general and just successful, because usually if they're successful in the past, the likelihood of them staying successful in the future is pretty strong. So our strong performance was attainable to the competitiveness of our products and recognition and strong support from our user community and sales network expansion strategy. So we continue to launch more efficient NIO spaces. So NIO spaces is actually NIO is more of like a lifestyle brand than just a car company. They actually have spaces where people can lounge, and they have lounges and things like that where every person that owns a NIO car has like a membership. So it's pretty cool. So we expect over 8,000 vehicles to be delivered in the fourth quarter, record of quarterly deliveries in our history. With that, the total aggregate delivery 2019 are estimated to reach over 20,000. So, the thing about NIO is that they're kind of one of the biggest brands, really the only really big reliable brand, is the only premium electric vehicle brand from China. So they're kind of dealing in a space where they'll probably have more competition in the future, but right now they're clearly the dominant player. So you guys can check out this information. You just go to ir.nio.com. All of the information here on their latest quarterly report, and of course the market received well. So did really well, and I actually bought some call options earlier that I did really well. I'm going to make a separate video on that, on trading call options on Robinhood. But this is still a far cry from where the company kind of hit its all-time high. So the reason why the stock went up here is because the stock was actually featured on 60 Minutes in February 2019. As you can see here, it was featured on Holly Williams for 60 Minutes and William Lee. They did a show about NIO, and that kind of sent the stock through the roof. So all that hype, the stock had reached all the way up to over $10, and then it's been crashing down. And then for investors that were long-term thinkers, they got in here at around $1.50. So that was a great price. So even at $4, we're still more than 50% from the all-time high. And guys, with these China electric vehicles, this is definitely a long-term play here. A lot of people are resisting electric vehicles, but it's just the future of transportation. I think it's a mistake to resist change. One of the things I've learned, being 33 years old, and just resisting change is very bad for your finances. For people that resisted smartphones, for people that resisted the growth in e-commerce, I can remember a time when people were too scared to use their credit cards online. And if you didn't invest in Amazon, if you didn't realize that the change was coming, and you lost out a lot. So I think it's the same thing with electric vehicles. They're simply eco-friendly, and that's the shift that we're moving into. So if you're not changing with the times, you're just missing out. The only thing that we're guaranteed is change. So, NIO right now at $4. Like I said, do your own research. There's a couple ways you can play this stock. For some people, you prefer just to own the shares outright. That's a more long-term view. But right now, I think owning the options is a good choice as well. I did pretty well with some call options. I had it at a strike price of $2.50. I'm going to talk more about that in the next video, because I want to kind of make a different video on trading options altogether. But this video is more talking about NIO, the stock, as well as some of the things that I think will happen in the future. So like I said, this stock is basically driven on their sales figures. There's not a lot of profit right now, and the company is basically growing very rapidly. And one of the things is that China is definitely a hotbed for electric vehicles. Like I said, a growing middle class with higher incomes will be able to purchase some of these cars. So if you guys aren't kind of familiar with the type of products that NIO has, I just want to show you guys some quick things of the cars that they're talking about in this quarterly report. Okay, so if you guys are not really familiar with NIO's cars, I just want to quickly talk a bit about the actual products that they're selling, because I think this will help kind of provide some perspective on why NIO is definitely a good investment in the long term. So okay, so their most popular product is the E6, as I showed on the quarterly report. So that was the biggest number of sales. I believe they sold well over, well, let me check the quote exactly so I can give you guys an exact quote. Okay, so 4,196 ES6s, so that's this car. So the ES6 is a high-performance, long-range, smart electric SUV with an ultra-long NEDC range of 510 kilometers. And usually in Asia they use kilometers, so you can actually get this number in miles, because you got 1 kilometer, I believe. I'm sorry, 1 mile is 2.2 kilometers. So if we divide this number, basically you'll get basically a charge of about, I would say, 250 miles, something like that, right in that range. Accelerates from 0 to 60 in around 0 to 60 in 4.7 seconds. So here's the car. We take a look at it. Very modern type of looking car. Very nice looking vehicle. And all these numbers are in renminbi, of course, because that's the currency. As we can see, top speed. We go born with performance. World's first electric SUV with PM motor and IM motor. So, like I said, very nice looking car. As you can see, the inside is quite luxurious as well. Comes with a panel as well. Very nice product. So of course, you know, if you're going to buy this stock long term, you definitely want to take a look at some of the products, because if the products aren't solid, you can't really expect this company to survive in the long term. People won't spend their money. So let's look at the most popular vehicle. And then the second vehicle is they sold 603 ES8s. So let's take a look at the ES8. You can find all of this information if you just go to their website, NIO.com. And here's the ES8, slightly larger vehicle. This is kind of like their flagship model, as you can see here. So very nice cars. Once again, this is considered the Tesla of China. I believe Tesla and NIO are the two most dominant players in the electric vehicle market moving forward. So if you're really bullish on these EV car companies, if you really think that this is going to make a big change in the environment, which I believe it is, because the whole goal of these cars is to reduce the negative effects of carbon emissions and pollution and things like that are plaguing our cities all over the world. Pollution, no matter where you go, whether it's whether you're in India, whether you're in China, whether you're in Latin America, even some cities in America, pollution is a huge problem. So that's one of the whole purpose of these vehicles will cure. It'll reduce the emissions so much, make our air cleaner, and just overall just make things better for society. So this is stock right now as I'm recording the video at $4.14. So what do you guys think? Are you long NIO shares? Are you buying options? How are you playing this? Because in the next 5 to 10 years, we're currently looking at a market cap of around $2.87 billion. That seems pretty small for a car company that's basically a huge player in the Chinese market. So let me know what you guys think. What are you doing with NIO shares? What's your strategy, and where you think the company's going? And also, if you have any other stocks or companies that you've been following, let me know in the comments, and I'll be sure to check them out and make a video if enough people request it. So that's it for today, guys. Enjoy your new year. Happy New Year, guys. Entering a new decade. So this is a transitional phase. We're done with the 10s. We're moving on to the 20s. So hope you guys stay safe. Hope your family's doing well. And give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And also, if you want to see more videos from me in the future, just smash that subscribe button. So that's it, guys. Take care.